Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Finally Friday. Augsburg University. I don't want to say finally Friday anymore, ever again. My name is Eric Nordquist. John Bisworm is with me.
Hello.
Hey, USL 2 soccer at Edor Nelson Field in Minneapolis. It's a balmy, slightly humid, slightly breezy, some east to westerly winds taking place here in Minneapolis. But Minneapolis City trying to find their first victory in their 2023 USL 2 campaign, facing Bavarian United, also Bisworm FC, who are also trying to seek their first victory. Thank you for joining us, and welcome back, fans. And you know, before we get to player to watch or keys to victory, those are important parts of this pregame here, rosters along the way, and eventually you get to watch some soccer, which is awesome. What happened with Rochester? As over the weekend, you have the Crows getting a draw, and it's nice to get a point after a couple of tough losses to start the year, but all the same, you're feeling like that victory could be yours. But in a lot of ways, we're seeing situations where it's that one moment, it's 2 minutes of what?
Yep.
And another team gets back in the game, and they found their way to a 1-1 draw last weekend.
Yeah, I thought that it was probably, you know, we've watched this team play for now, what are we on, our fourth week? And one of the main things was defending the counterattack. I thought that in the game against Rochester, that was 100% shored up. And it's a bright spot to see because that is where we saw each team we were playing against go to the well. So the 1-1 draw, I think that Minneapolis City probably had the most substantive chances outside of, obviously, the one that the Rochester Loons, not those Loons.
The other loons.
Different loons. The other loons. Is there a different loon? Is there a family of loon birds that I don't know about?
Like subspecies within the
of
loon?
a loon? Yeah.
Not sure.
Okay. The Rochester loon.
I'm not an ornithologist here. Okay?
Are you sure?
Just trying to get through another Friday night.
But the substantive chances was in the favor of Minneapolis City, but I think overall, getting a road point against a team that's new to the division, finding out who they are at their place before they come here was a positive.
Now, once again, in a moment, thanks to TCO, we'll talk about Shea Bechtel, and that's your teaser. But before we get to that, this is your opportunity. This is your platform. It's a familiar face. They're also working their way into USL 2. Bavarian, Pride of Milwaukee.
Yep.
Take it away, Johnny Bisworm.
Well, this is another debut for a new team to the league. It seems to be a running theme lately that we have new teams coming in. The Milwaukee
Which is a good thing.
Which is a very good thing. And teams closer to us than Des Moines, Iowa. So that's always a positive. But the Milwaukee Bavarians, a storied pre-professional, or if you want to call it amateur, whatever, however you slice it, club, 9 national championships.
How many were you a part of?
We don't talk about that kind of stuff around here.
But you got bloodlines.
Yeah,
that's what I'm digging into here. I'm just trying to get you to kind of gush a little bit. You're on the other side of the field now.
Well, like I said to some,
there's some love there, though.
Like I said to some of my friends today, is that this one tears my heart. But I hope for a draw in my heart. But at face value, I hope we smash them today. But yeah, like you were saying, Eric, my family runs pretty deep within the club. All of my male relatives played there in one way or another. My Uncle Hans was member of the team in the 60s that won many championships and was the president of the club. My mom was even the treasurer for a while. So there's a lot there. We also have history with them from a Minneapolis City perspective in the fact that we were inaugural members in the PLA together when we started.
Yeah.
We started, and it's good to see them again. And now we have to avenge that 2-0 loss from the last time we saw them back in 2016.
You said your mom was the treasurer?
Yeah.
Guess what, Bavarians? You're going bankrupt tonight. Let's get to the player to watch, sponsored by our friends at Twin Cities Orthopedics. And as I mentioned, it is Shea Bechtel, and he's a junior at St. Olaf University. Tell me about Shea.
Well, Shea, I mean, if you've watched any Minneapolis City game this season, Shea is electric coming off the right wing. From a collegiate perspective, he was voted the MIAC Offensive Player of the Year in his sophomore season last year, a Division III second-team All-American, and in 2 seasons with the Gusties, Eric, 42 games played, 20 goals, 23 assists. So he does both from an offensive perspective. And last summer, he played in the Midwestern Premier League with Steel City, and he scored 9 goals in 10 games and was the Golden Boot winner. So what we haven't seen is him open up his Minneapolis City account. What we've seen him do is grow dangerously into games from an offensive perspective. And it's only a matter of time until he reignites that collegiate cohesion with Hakeem Morgan, and then ignites a new flame with Eli Goldman up top.
And you'll see him on the right wing this evening for the Crows, lineups and formations and such momentarily. But moving on, keys to victory presented by our buddies at Pence Homes. And just digging into it here, I love the way you're starting this. Tell me about putting it all together for the Crows.
Well, we talked about the Rochester game last weekend over the holiday, and that was our best defensive performance. Yes, there was one goal there that was not necessarily a goal of substance, we'll call it, but it still went in the back of the net. They don't ask how, they ask how many, right, Eric?
Yeah.
So essentially, we had a very good defensive game. We saw a very good offensive game against RKC, even though they did kind of blow the doors off of us. Defensive difficulties that game. So is today the game where the Crows can put it together, both offensively and defensively, and not have those laps on one side or the other?
And maybe a big part of that is going to be connecting through the middle. How does the middle not become the abyss tonight for the Crows?
Well, we saw it in the Rochester game. There was too many opportunities where the default was to try to go to the front three. So half of the game is spent with your back five, we'll call them six with the goalkeeper, defending, and then lumping the ball forward to a front three, and sometimes two or one players maybe, and there was really no connection into the core of the field, which would have created 2v1, 3v2 opportunities for the Crows. So if we're talking about number one, putting it all together, let's not forget about the fact that going through the midfield and breaking lines on the ground in short spaces can be equally as effective as the long ball.
I dig that. Thanks to Pence Homes. Finally, best laid plans, right? You feel like Carl's got the best plan on the house. However, adjusting and making a change if necessary.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, we're talking about high-level non-professional players here. At some point, they have to lean on what they're seeing within the game. So, yes, they can have a plan from a perspective that's coming down from the coaching staff, but they're smart enough. They've been in situations, thousands of hours of soccer they've played. They understand that they need to make adjustments on the fly that are advantageous in the moment without hearing it come from one of the coaches in pink.
So those are indeed your keys to the game. Thank you to Pence Homes, and later we'll tell you about all the great partners that support Minneapolis City and Crows soccer, MPLSCitySC.com. Very excited. We're less than 5 minutes away from not only the Minneapolis City, but Bavarian United, both squads looking for their first victory of the USL 2 season. We're going to break momentarily, come back around for some lineups. But first, give us that legalese, brother.
Yeah, I gotta definitely check off the stuff the lawyers bring us. This copyrighted telecast of the U.S. Soccer League, I can never get
I think
through
part of it is reading it clearly,
yes,
to be honest with you.
Let me try again.
I think it voids if you can't actually pronounce the words.
This copyrighted telecast of the United States Soccer League cannot be retransmission, rebroadcast, or reproduced without express written consent of the United States Soccer League. There we go. Let's take a break.
We're going to learn how to talk. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Edor Nelson Field, Augsburg University in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's a border battle. Bavarian United in town for a Friday fiesta. I'm going to nix that from them.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
I'll never do that again.
No, I will not. Bavarian United facing Minneapolis City. As you see the players entering the field, final pleasantries and an anthem to ensue, and we'll get to it. But your starting lineups, let's just jump to it. It looks like a late change, perhaps, as Mata Castillo is in net for your Crows. And then across the back line, you're going to see Wes Lawrence, number 5, Jonah Garcia, number 4, Griffin Gerchi. It's not even the real pronunciation of his last name, but he likes it. Number 16, Carson Pena, 28. Jamison Charles, number 8. Brian Lopez, number 26. Eric Contreras, number 23. Shea Bechtel, your player to watch, up in the right wing, number 21. Hakeem Morgan, number 9. And Eli Goldman, who's got a hat trick from 2 games ago. He scored the goal against Rochester.
4-3, yeah.
Call that a heater in the business. Eli Goldman wraps up your starting 11 for Minneapolis City. And for the visiting Bavarians, Tobias John in net. Number 1, Fabian Alvarez. Number 2, number 3, Luke Mitchell. Number 4, Shaunus Queta. Number 5, Tristan Stevens. Number 8, Seth Stewart. Number 10, Jackson Castro. Number 12, Blaine Maybe. Number 11, Mitchell Dryden. Don't want to forget about him. Number 16, Mikkel Fodstad. And number 23, Patrick Coleman. Pronunciation guide's not available. Best we can do. What do you got, John?
Oh, we're going to thank some of our sponsors, Eric. So first off, Pence Homes. When it's time to make your move, you're in good hands with the property experts at Pence Homes, a top choice of buyers and sellers across all the metro. Pence Homes, a division of Keller Williams Classic Realty Northwest. And our title sponsor for tonight, Mpls, somewhere close to both of our hearts. Good living comes from two things, good soccer and good brewing. Between Minneapolis City and Mpls, you'll be living good every day this summer. So visit their beautiful tap room in Bryn Mawr or grab a sixer in liquor stores literally everywhere. Learn more at utepils.com. And finally, utepils.com. And finally, our last sponsor for this particular portion of the match is TCO. Minneapolis City is in good hands with our longtime sports medicine partner, Twin Cities Orthopedics. You, too, can have TCO on your side with their wide range of specialty services to help you achieve your goal of returning to full health. Learn more at tcomn.com. There we go, Eric.
Appreciate you so much for that. And again, I mention it, and those that follow USL 2 soccer or lower leagues, as John has kind of put it, this is professional amateurism at its best.
Yeah.
And these are 2 squads, by the way, in a new league that are both focused on local development and creating the best out of what they can within their particular communities and markets. And both are struggling to start the 2023 campaign. Mm-hmm. But as part of that, it takes great partners, as you mentioned, Pence and Mpls and Twin Cities Orthopedics. And there is a laundry list of others that we all appreciate equally that we'll get to and make sure to mention throughout the broadcast tonight that make this all possible. Of course, the Crows faithful, the citizens in attendance here at Edor Nelson, they certainly have a hand in it as well.
Takes a village, Eric.
And overall, I'm just going to be honest, it's incredibly unpleasant up in this particular booth. But outside in Minneapolis, despite a cloudy, I wouldn't call it entirely overcast, but it's mostly a beautiful Friday.
Yeah, I would say
here in
so.
Minnesota.
At least there's a breeze. It's not that stagnant late August air.
And for everyone outside enjoying that breeze, just want to tell you on behalf of John Bisworm, I can tell you that we envy you. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Get outside.
If you're at home watching this with the air conditioning, we definitely envy you at this point.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, at Johnny Business via Twitter or at Mad Producer 1 via Twitter, why don't you tweet us a picture of the current thermostat situation?
Yeah.
Of your climate-controlled paradise that you're living in at this very moment.
Because right now we're 82. And that's outside. Inside, we're about 105, I think.
Yeah, and I'm a human manatee, a human beanbag chair, so I'm not built for these conditions, and it's only June. Very excited for this one again, and to the Bavarians, not only your personal connection, John, but this is a super cool matchup because both teams, with similar philosophies developmentally, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
But both, ultimately, you want to win games. Okay, we can live noble lives and we can do all these great things and support guys going pro, as we were talking about off air. It's like, hey, I got guys getting pro opportunities every year. We can't win a game in USL 2. What's going on? So tonight, both teams very motivated, and I believe whether it's Carl Craig on the bench of the Crows, it's Callum Malice on the bench for the Bavarians, both still very motivated and competitive, and they want to win games while obviously in both men's minds doing things the right way. So that's what's going to make this one cool.
Yeah, I mean, both of these clubs are used to winning. I mean, you talk about a 9-time amateur national champion, and this is going to sound funny coming from what I just said, a 3-time NPSL North champion since we last separated being in a league together. Winning has been both of these clubs' moniker for the past season and decades for the Bavarians. So they're both looking to get on the right side of things. And like we said, coming from leagues like the NPSL or the UPSL, Midwest Premier League, the USL 2 is a totally different animal.
It certainly is. As I feverishly try to adjust what the formation shall be for the visiting Bavarians. We were not given one on the front end of this.
Here we go.
Looking forward to actually seeing some soccer here, and we are officially underway right here. Minimal pressure right off the bat from the Crows. It is John in control of it.
Our first message from the listeners comes from UPSL Futures, Minneapolis City Futures architect Jeremiah Johnson, who is says a nice 70 degrees inside his house watching this one tonight. Thanks for the message, JJ.
Could almost be a little bit cooler, JJ. First minute throw in for the Bavarians. Bavarians in there visiting all blue. Crows in the home, white tops, black shorts, white socks, the prominent black stripe. Unless you're Contreras, who can't be bothered to pull his socks up, which is okay. Yurchi with it in the back for the Crows.
Never gets old.
Mata Castillo pushing it forward, looking for Morgan. That's Tristan Stevens pushing it forward. Now Dryden with it. Nice job by Pena stepping in, creating a bit of a traffic roadblock. Pena, by the way, wearing number 17 for the Crows. Small typo on John Bisworm's part.
Yep, I'll take that.
Nearly ruined the entire broadcast.
That one's on me, folks.
We'll try to move on the best we can as we enter later stages of the second minute. Coming from an offside position, flag should be up.
Well, that was a difficult call for...
Couldn't have been more obvious there, thankfully.
It was a difficult call we were kind of talking about last match, is that a lot of the
times...
Where
the ref couldn't figure out where people were coming back from an offside position.
Yep.
I completely agree.
So here we go. We got the first one.
And being completely unaffiliated with any team or the league itself, I will just say that let's just say they had a really hard time figuring out guys coming from an onside position last week.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not in the business of blaming refs. We're in the business of watching Crows soccer here in the third minute at Edor Nelson. A little battle in the midfield there. Now outside to Seth Stewart.
Some really good movement by number
Stevens.
12, Blaine Maybe.
Now to Mitchell. Across to Alvarez. Very comfortable on the outside is Coleman trying to make a run on the boundary. Nicely done there.
Good recovery by Bechtel.
Bechtel having to work his way quite a way back there to make that play.
That stayed in. Or did they take a quick throw?
In the box, an opportunity, trying to work it out. And winning that battle is Mata Castillo.
Good opportunity for him to come off his line there.
That was Lawrence bodying a Bavarian attacker out of the way. Now Akeem Morgan does get the initial head on it. Let's see, now Goldman with an opportunity if he can find Morgan on the through now to the end line here. He'll keep it in. Goldman oh my goodness, with an open net.
He's gonna want that one back.
4 yards from the net. It's in the parking lot.
What a great ball by Akeem Morgan right here.
Watch this replay here.
I mean,
in some ways,
that's a tough one for Eli. I mean, look how many guys are around him.
There's a luck element to it where Goldman's chesting down as the defender goes through. Timing can be everything in some situations.
Good early opportunity, though, for the Crows. And that all came from a tracking back into the midfield hustle play by Morgan to win the ball in the air, and then Eli understanding the opportunity to be able to pounce on the second ball.
5th minute.
Carson Pena here with some space.
Now forward to Goldman.
Oh, great move.
He's trying to find some space on his right foot. Battling through. Tested by Stewart. Ultimately cleared.
Lucky touch there for Lawrence.
Now it's Castro.
I think we've,
back to Alvarez.
As we've seen with Eli Goldman this season, you know, he obviously likes to cut in from the outside. But the opportunity for him there is maybe we want to see him pull the trigger a little bit more from distance when he does beat the player and gets that small acre of space to be able to let one fly on target.
Interesting foul call.
I think that
Sean Escueta.
That was, I think,
Contreras on the turf.
I think that was a makeup call from earlier in that run-up of play with Morgan, that ended up with the opportunity with Goldman. Escueta, I think, took a quick chip at Contreras. I think the referee's just kind of cleaning things up.
Cleaning things up in the middle now are the Bavarians. Harmless in a goal kick there from Lada Castillo. Entering the 7th minute momentarily. Scoreless action at Edor Nelson, USL 2. And kick there, nice job by the Bavarians, clogging everything up here near midfield. There's Stewart. Come back to Stevens. Nobody home for that. And that could be Bechtel. Bechtel gets a shove in the back from Coleman, but no call there. Now Lopez. Lopez in real trouble. Taken away by the Bavarians. There's Mitchell.
It's good for the Bavarians to get out of that tight space.
Absolutely closed in on Lopez. No chance for number 26. Now Stevens. Stewart's outside if he wants him.
I think early on.
Dryden decides otherwise.
Early on, the Crows are definitely. Oh, unlucky pass there. Goldman's on.
Is he still on?
Oh.
Stewart steps in. Nice play defensively for Blue.
Good work by Charles.
Nice job by Charles here now. Forward to Goldman. Too heavy a touch.
What I was going to gather there before is that number 12, Blaine Maybe for the Bavarians, is basically finding the pocket in between the midfield lines for Minneapolis City and pretty much able to get that 5-yard pass to release pressure. So you want to see maybe an opportunity by the Crows to figure out how to shore that space up so they deny that pass. Because he can turn and he can do whatever he wants with it at this point.
There's Pena to Contreras. Now Goldman making a run on the outside. Bad pass by Contreras. Now Alvarez. Alvarez switching it forward to Castro. Castro with a little bit of space. Pena tracking. Now back to Stevens. Two-man game, center in the middle. The header on net. Meta Castillo.
Offside.
Either the save or off the woodwork.
Offside.
But the flag is up. Free kick for the Crows. Wouldn't have counted either way. The header on net by Dryden, making things at least a bit dramatic and interesting here early on. 10th minute, still scoreless. Each team now with a bona fide opportunity, although this one for the Bavarians in the end being outside. Awful turnover by Pena. Nice step in by Gerchi. There's Dryden. Dryden battling with Garcia. Now Pena. And Lopez with the header. Somebody's got to settle it here. Now Coleman with maybe. Call me. Another awful joke. Okay, we're just going to cross all these things off. Is Akeem Morgan sending Eli Goldman on a marathon run. He's battling with Stewart. Goldman's going to win that now. It's Stewart.
It's a good battle.
Nicely done by Escueta. Taking that away. Now Stewart. Jamison Charles with the theft. Now forward for Goldman. Well done by Tristan Stevens.
At some point, the Crows need to let one fly on target and really
just
see
sticking a boot in there. You would have loved to see just fire one on target from distance.
Yeah, I mean, they've only tested John.
And by the way,
once.
by distance, I mean 19, 20 yards. I'm not asking for miracles here. Not asking for Roberto Carlos. Corner, it was connected with momentarily by Lawrence. Will drift out of bounds harmlessly for the Bavarians. Goal kick. Both teams looking for a victory. Pride of Milwaukee, pride of Minneapolis.
There's that pass into maybe again.
May have come from an offside position. The flag is up.
All right, this guy's on it today. I
This
like
guy's
it.
on it.
I like it. Looks like, Eric, we might get a legend up in the box here at halftime.
Oh, who's joining us?
There's a potential there might be an Abdallah Ba sighting.
Really?
Yeah.
Hell yes. Abdallah Ba may be joining us. That's why you stick around during the breaks. Hit the latrine and hurry back, as we may have the opportunity to chat with Abdallah Ba, longtime member of the Crows.
Hey, the Bisworm family showed up.
Congratulations to one of the young Bisworm boys graduating kindergarten today.
Yeah, Gus, man.
When I saw him earlier today, he asked me what we do up in the box, and I said, well, we drink dad drinks, and we talk about soccer for 2 hours, and we hope our favorite team wins. And then he said, well, your team doesn't win. And I said, well, tonight's another night. Okay, let's just not be negative about it. We're happy for you. You finished kindergarten. You're not even in the real numbers yet, so just slow your roll, kid.
Yeah, easy, Gus. And if you're a listener of the People's Pitch podcast, my illustrious co-host, Nate Morales, was unable to make it this week, so I went solo, and Gus joined me. So head on over to...
Oh, finally, some soccer knowledge being brought to the podcast.
Right.
And you can find that podcast wherever podcasts are sold.
Yep.
Gus with his co-host, John, this morning.
Dad.
Dad.
We try to get him to not call me John in public.
It's a new generation, John.
Yeah.
These kids operate differently than you and I did. Foul call. It'll be Bavarian ball, 14th minute. Still scoreless. Neither team at this stage, John, able to really establish anything outside of a frenetic type run, ultimately ending in a goal kick for both teams.
Well, I think the Crows need to let one fly from distance. Like, let's test John to see what he can do.
There's Charles with it. Now the Bavarians take over. Impressive work by the visitors. Closing in, at least making it difficult. One topic in the front end of this game is connecting in the middle. And one thing you'd have to say is the Bavarians have made it difficult on the home team thus far. Still early. The deepest of deep throw-ins for the Crows. Pena can kiss the corner flag from where he's currently positioned. Now forward, battling for it. Now Key Morgan coming out of the pile with it in some space. Lopez, now Bechtel, the player to watch.
It's great transition soccer.
Let's see how he can handle against Fabian Alvarez. And the left foot.
It's all right, I like it.
We're looking for a test. You got one. Not on frame.
You know, it's less than ideal, but it makes the goalkeeper stay honest.
And I loved in that moment where you got the instincts were good in that moment, John, from the standpoint that you had this massive crowd near side and all that open space. And immediately as soon as Hakeem Morgan saw that green, he pushed it to Lopez, who pushed it to Bechtel. You like that. And you like Jamison Charles with a bit of green. Well done, unless the whistle comes in, but Azqueta gives a nice shoulder to Charles and ends that advance.
Got to release that ball sooner.
Now Coleman to Castro. Castro with it now.
Castro's a tidy.
That's Fodstad. Now to Coleman, looking for Fodstad.
Castro's a tidy player. He's good.
Evenly matched action.
It's been exciting.
About to enter the 17th minute at Edor Nelson. It's a Friday evening. So exciting. John's removing his sunglasses.
Yeah, I can't see.
Here in Minneapolis. There's Fodstad. Now Azqueta. Now to Alvarez. Outside to Coleman. Inside to Maybe.
Good battle.
Battling for it. Now Dryden. Dryden. Coleman thought better of it. He was offside. Now back to Coleman onside. Now into the middle. Deflected. Should be a corner, and it is. Corner opportunity for the Bavarians.
The number one for them today?
Might be the first corner for the Bavarians.
Don't have the budget for a stats guy.
It'll be Jackson Castro. Ready to deliver.
This has been a trouble spot for the Crows.
You have Dryden on the near post. Fodstad near the spot. And an absolute whiff from Blaine Maybe. Sending the Crows the other way on the counter. Let's see if they can.
Pena's on his horse.
Pena's working. And it's Azqueta.
That is fantastic hustle from your left back.
That's terrific. Now Bechtel on the throw-in.
Now Wes Lawrence is making him run all the way back over to theirs.
He's exhausted. Somebody needs to show for Bechtel here. Otherwise, we're going to be calling half pretty soon. Now Garcia. Minor mistake by him. He has to look for the safety net. Mata Castillo in the mix. Not exactly the crispest of passing over the last couple of minutes for the Crows. Gonna have to be better than that. Throw in now to Charles. That's better. It's Lopez moving. And he passes it directly to Dryden. Out of Fodstad. Stewart on the outside. See if Seth can keep it in. He does. He do anything with it. Nicely done by Goldman. He will concede the corner.
Bavarian's doing
That's about it. He brings Stewart legally to the ground.
Bavarian's doing a very, very good job in the last couple sequences on transitioning and switching the field into attack. That through ball in that last instance to, who is that?
Stewart.
You want more from that if you're the Bavarians, but it was absolutely a nice quick play.
Headed out to safety on the corner. Now maybe. Now back in. Ooh, he was looking for Alvarez, didn't find him.
Now the transition's got to happen.
There's Bechtel. And that's Stevens defensively.
Great tackle.
On the other side of the field, making his own great play. Now maybe through Charles. Bad touch by Dryden. Otherwise, Stewart was absolutely sinking in untouched. At the risk of a stupid question, as we look as we're midway through the 20th minute, John, is there a particular reason why we have all members of the Crows bench up and operating at this stage?
I think it's basically just to get moving so you're not sitting too long.
Okay.
It's something that the coaching staff, I think, has applied the last couple of games. Just keep the guys moving because,
keep them fresh.
If you're sitting, you're 20 minutes into a game, something bad happens and you have to bring someone cold off the bench or quickly get them to warm up. I think it's just a practice in trying to keep the blood flowing.
Pena keeping the blood flowing. Garricci over to Garcia. Garricci, just because I like saying it. Now to Pena. Through to Eli Goldman, no chance. Stevens lets it drift back to
Well, that's what we talked about in the run-up of the play, or the broadcast, Eric, is the bypassing of the midfield. There were 3 players that were checking too. It looked like in short spaces, maybe a little crowded. But
so would you have liked a different move there?
Yeah, you have to at least try to release the pressure valve by going in and getting that ball back right away, bouncing it right back. The Bavarians are doing a very good job of that. They did it exactly as I'm talking about it. Instead of trying to default directly to trying to play through balls into the front 3. Quick play there by the Crows. Taking that early free kick. Not as fruitful as they would have liked.
'22nd minute, still scoreless. I feel like moments like this would be where we tell you about Southside Barber Lounge because, hey, you can look your best with the only barber you should trust in Minneapolis, and that's Southside Barber Lounge, located at 38th and Bloomington. The spot, by the way, for elevated men's grooming without the nonsense. Make an appointment, SouthsideBarberLounge.com.
While you're reading that, Eric, a crow flew over. Is that good luck or bad luck?
I don't like it. But I like this. But it is Stewart outpacing Goldman.
See, again,
to the boundary.
For me there, Eric, there's a better way to go that route, and it's connecting passes instead of trying to put Eli in a foot race.
So are we testing at this stage, or because we're not finding success in that regard? At what point do we make that change?
I mean, that's
because again, whether it's we can't hit the long ball almost in desperation with regularity throughout a 90-minute match. As Fodstad's in there and he taps it over Monte Castillo, and it's over the bar, and it'll be a goal kick. But the idea is okay. So we've tested that a few times and we failed miserably doing that. We found our best when we're activating near midfield, and then we are directing. And direct, by the way, on the ground, whether it's to Eli, that work by Akeem Morgan earlier, those things. and then the ability to adjust, as you talked about, is Alvarez or
offside.
Escueta should be offside. Fodstad,
Well, we talked
no
about,
thank you.
We talked
It'll
about
be a free kick for Minneapolis City.
at some point there has to be read and recognition on the field by the players to even if you're the one that's getting the target for the long ball, to just tell your partners to stop and to really think through it before they're just defaulting to it.
Is that something you can vocalize on the field?
Absolutely.
I could go up to Pena, love Pena, he loves me. This is not about judgment. It's just, dude, stop trying the long ball. It's not working.
Yeah, look to find so-and-so, checking in behind me, things like that. The things that are happening off the ball that maybe some players don't see because they're looking at the first option, and maybe option 2 or 3 is the better one.
Lawrence forward to Lopez. He's working through traffic. He will win the kick, or win the free throw, excuse me, from Coleman. Now forward to Morgan. Morgan backing down Alvarez. Now a throw for Bavarians.
Tough spot for him.
Still scoreless. Two teams looking for their first win of the season. Escueta with the header. Garcia back to now
Like
Jameson
right now
Charles.
is where you want to find the middle of the field. I see 2 inactive players right now pointing.
Well, if we're talking about adjustment on the fly, I would ask Contreras what he's doing. How is he not presenting himself? Why is he not making himself an option?
Yeah,
Because I think there are two sides to that conversation. If we're going to say
gotta want the
we
ball.
got to connect through the middle, I need guys that want the ball. I think that's the perfect way to put it. Is Morgan has it now, and now trying to make the turn and being ineffective is Lopez. We'll see if Charles a little too physical in the mix there and draws the free kick. The Bavarians will get the quick restart.
There we tried to do it and we connected 3 passes.
But you mentioned in that moment now, speaking of Contreras, he's battling Stewart, and another free kick.
Part of it too is
I love Contreras' rebound, or I should say recovery, and I love his pace in those moments. But I need better from what I'm seeing in the middle to present and create options for connecting in the middle, if that makes sense.
want the ball and go find pockets of space to get
There
it.
we go. Perfect. You're so succinct. Charles battling and losing. That was odd for a moment, and Castro was acting as if he had just been the perpetrator of a foul, but it'll be a throw-in for Minneapolis City. Pena on it. Pena starts it. Header by Morgan, nobody home. Now Stevens stepping up. Go back to Alvarez and to Mitchell.
Said it a few times. For me, number 12 maybe is getting way too much of the ball. He's finding that space right in behind the attacking front 4 with too much regularity.
So once Lopez, if he can get by here, and he can, some calmness. There we go. Now possession, let's switch it up. Yurchi.
Great touch.
Now Pena needs to move closer to the boundary, but he has it. Yurchi. Now across to Garcia. Now Lawrence, let's see if he can make a quick move up. There's Bechtel. Bechtel really having to work his way back just to even get a taste, a sniff of the ball here in the first half. Jameson Charles now trying to get forward for Morgan. He finds it.
Those are all really good ideas. We just
Good
have
idea.
to convert them faster.
Need the execution. Now Lopez trying to make a turn through the middle. And it's maybe just stepping in and pure thievery from number 12. Dryden. Now it's Castro. Outside to Coleman. Lawrence tracking. The left foot. Should be a goal kick, and it is. 28th minute. Final stages of the 28th minute.
Ooh, that was closer than it looked.
Still scoreless. Crows and Bavarians here in Minneapolis.
A good 28 minutes so far.
Check this out. Minneapolis City.
Here we go.
I'd like to send a special thanks to Radisson Red, downtown in Minneapolis, for extending their hospitality to traveling teams and fans. Radisson Red, official hotel partner of Minneapolis City. Contreras forward
unlucky.
for
Morgan wasn't ready for
ultimately nobody.
that one. But that all started, Eric, with us trying to find the center of the field instead of trying to hit it long.
And a pile of ideas. Still looking for some execution are the home team. Here through nearly 30 minutes of play in the first half. There's Dryden inside to Maybe.
Came from offside.
Outside to Stewart. Flag stays down. Now Fodstad. And a battle through Pena unsuccessfully. Now Lopez outside and out of play. Be a throw in for Blue. Seth Stewart on it now. Check back safely to Stevens.
There's that pocket right
There
there.
is Escueta. That pocket's going to be open all day, it appears.
Yeah.
Now Coleman inside to Castro. Well done stepping in defensively there. As of now, Stewart with plenty of green, and he'll push it inside. It's headed out by Gurchi.
Great clearance.
Now Goldman. See how they can settle and try to make a run here.
Nope. Keep the ball. There we go.
Slowing it down.
Nice touch
Lawrence
by Wes Lawrence.
with some space, and it's Hakeem Morgan outside of him. He pushes it to Morgan. Alvarez on him. Now finding some traffic in Blue. Back to Lawrence. Looking inside, maybe for Morgan, maybe for Bechtel. Just too much pace on that touch. And Lopez resetting a bit for the home team. Get to MPLSCitySC.com. Not only learn about the Crows.
Quick.
Those of you Bavarians fans that are watching, as Charles had an idea for Bechtel to make a run. Bechtel wasn't sure to make a run. The pass was beyond everybody, regardless of a run or not a run.
That's early season stuff. Like, at some point, people will understand the triggers for your teammates.
At some point, those triggers definitely need to be understood. No doubt about it. As both teams look for their first victory on the season.
What a ball.
Now Coleman on the inside. Will he take the right-footed shot? Deflected, I believe, off of Garcia. It'll be a corner.
What a great ball that was.
But get to MPLSCitySC.com. Those of you maybe fans of the Visitors, Bavarians fans. Going to learn more about the Crows, how they got started, what they're up to now.
What we've been
the
doing
Futures
since
program.
2016.
Absolutely. MPLSCitySC.com. It's merch, it's tickets. You can see on the screen now upcoming games. You're going to have next weekend Rochester, and then it's a midweek affair. How about a hump day hoedown? Nope, that's out of the mix. That's stupid.
Man, you're just.
But Manitoba, they came down from Canada, obviously. Didn't need to educate you on geography, I suppose. That's a Wednesday game, June 14th. But then they're at St. Croix. Thunder Bay
It's Father's Day
is
weekend.
here.
St. Croix.
Bavaria away.
Can't wait for that one.
Thunder Bay away as you look at the USL 2 schedule.
And then Minnesota Super Cup against Duluth comes in right after that.
But you can find the schedule on the website. You can find merch on the website. You can find tickets. How do you become a citizen? If you're on your couch right now enjoying some Mpls beverages potentially, thinking about, I want to be here at Edor Nelson. From my standpoint here, your standpoint there. Get to MPLSCitySC.com. More information. Great crowd on a Friday.
Good work
in
by
Minneapolis.
Contreras.
Traffic was absolutely awful, just like it has been in the middle of the field for this Crows and Bavarian United match. 33rd minute. Throw in for the Crows.
I think Mitchell found out that Hakeem Morgan is tough to knock off the ball.
There's a saying about finding out and all of that, but this is a family show. Garcia to Lawrence on the outside. Nicely done. Flick through by Bechtel. Lopez unable to connect. Alvarez pushes it back to the keeper.
It's a free runner here, 2 back on the backside.
Indeed, both Stewart and Dryden. Plenty of green, although Dryden retreated. For Vikings fans, when I would say the very old school Randy Moss maneuver of holding your hand up saying, give me the go route. That's what Dryden was just doing. Nobody saw him. Now Stewart on the outside. Flicked into the middle. Nobody home. The flag is up. Something should be offside here, and it is.
A couple on Dryden.
And you get the free kick.
There's that Fulstad. You have your things backwards.
I think
and
Dryden's
it's tough for me to read.
Dryden's offside. It's the English language, John. Come on. I know you spent some time in Germany, but
They didn't teach
you don't have to be like you're from Bavaria today just because you love Bavarian United and you're super excited that they're in town.
Well, it's more so that I don't know how to read upside down, I guess is what I'm gathering here.
Okay.
I understand the English language.
Okay. All right.
Played by Garcia.
In the radio business, we don't know much. We don't move much. That is obvious. But we can read words, mostly. We can read upside down. The reasoning behind all of that, I don't know. That goes to nobody. It's a throw-in, 36th minute.
Mpls right behind the player there. Beautiful sign.
How good would an ice-cold Mpls be?
It would definitely cool down the booth here.
Minneapolis City, so many great partners. Trying to think how many of them you could combine into one elite experience. So if I'm eating a Blaze pizza while getting my hair cut, my knee rehabbed.
Good work by Gierche.
Ultimately, tremendous Gierche defense leading to a corner for the Bavarians. I'm eating a Blaze pizza while getting my hair cut from Southside Barber Lounge. I'm getting my knee looked at.
You're eating while you're getting your hair cut?
From Twin Cities Orthopedics. It's not comfortable, but it's pleasurable.
I mean, you're trying.
I'm drinking an Mpls. Headed out by Gierche and Pena. The clearance there. Now rushing in. Lopez battling. There should be a foul there. And we do see the whistle. Free kick for Minneapolis City. And I'm curious, am I doing all of this inside the home that Pence Homes purchased or helped me purchase?
Or Radisson Red.
Ooh, Radisson Red. How about that? I'll have to clean the sheets after I spill the pizza. Either way, many tremendous partners with Minneapolis City. Very evenly matched and still scoreless is Dryden on the outside here for the Bavarians. Looked into the center. Gierche. Chest sit over the end line. It'll be a corner. Bavarians.
The tide has definitely shifted
I would
over
say
the course
overall,
of the last 10 minutes.
Overall, over the last 10 to 15 minutes, we've seen not necessarily elite mortal pressure, but consistent activity in the final third for the visitors here.
It's all come on the backs of the final execution on the idea for the Crows not being sharp.
How can the Crows potentially counter this? The delivery. Once again, how about Gierche being absolutely in every scuffle, in every 50-50 opportunity for the ball over the last 2 minutes.
It's good. I like the fight.
The aforementioned Gierche. It's not even how you pronounce his last name, if we're being honest. We asked him.
For me, it is.
He gave us permission to continue to say it the way we are.
Eli Goldman's
Now
in.
Goldman one-on-one, flicks it over. Will it get? Is it in the net? Is it in the net? Oh my goodness!
Get out of here.
It's off the right post. There is no goal.
Get out of here.
How on earth in that moment did that not find the back of the net? But now Jamison Charles flicking through for Lopez. Nice header defensively for Alvarez and cleared out. Not cleared out.
What the heck was that?
Now Pena, the ball almost got stuck in his hair.
That's not a foul.
It will be called a foul, however. Oh my goodness. The flick. The post. Oof.
That did not go in. How does that work? Oh.
That close, ladies and gentlemen,
Man.
for a potential 1-0 Crows lead, and
goes our early season.
the 5th goal for Eli Goldman in his last 3 games. Still plenty of time. Stewart now to Dryden. Dryden working his way through the line, trying to find Coleman.
He took himself
Still trying to battle through.
opportunity.
Absolutely over-dribbled that entire
Here
affair.
we go. Here we go.
Now Goldman with Green again, and he's pushing. Fresh haircut for Eli Goldman, looking for Hakeem Morgan. Beautiful pass.
What a ball.
Can he settle it? Now to, my goodness, Contreras off the woodwork.
Come on. Oh. What a play.
Unbelievable run there on the replay.
Look at that ball by Eli.
Beautiful flick by Goldman. Here's Morgan, the no-look. The Jason Kidd to Contreras. And no conversion. I'm a little bit older. The Jason Kidd reference doesn't play.
I'd go even a little older in the Jason Williams elbow pass.
Let's call it, how about Chris Middleton, before he's been dealing with these bad injuries the last couple of years for you Milwaukee fans out there. Now Contreras and Morgan. Now forward to Bechtel, the player to watch. The header, it will drift in. And you have yourself a 1-0 Crows lead in the 41st minute. The player to watch, Shea Bechtel, puts his noggin on it, and the citizens are erupting at Edor Nelson with a 1-0 Crows lead. Nothing the keeper could do. A beautiful pass to Bechtel. And a lead for the home 11.
Is that Hakeem Morgan with the ball? Look at that ball. And we talked about their connection collegiately, and that's something that you can't learn, man. It's just there. To some people, it looks like a desperation ball, but Bechtel started making the run before Morgan didn't even look up for it. He just hit it.
There you go. Big smile for Shea Bechtel as he tallies one for the Crows.
Now it's time to lock up shop.
A feverish 3-4 minutes now for the home team as they put the pressure on. A couple of nice runs resulting in nothing, but that one, Hakeem Morgan dishing it to Bechtel. You can't teach that connection, John. You can't teach putting your player to watch on a goal.
Offsides again.
42nd minute.
Now it's just closing up shop into halftime here. We saw what happened against RKC where we score a goal around this time in the game and then we shut off, let the other team back into it. You want to go in with that 1-0 lead.
Okay, well, expand it to the last year and a half, John. How many games has this squad led? And then it's the 6 minutes of stupid, as I coined. It is the small moments where a lead is lost, a deficit begins, and ultimately at the end of 90, a loss is found. So holding on to that 1-0 lead, really the A topic, the thorn in the side of Minneapolis City over the last year and a half since they've been in USL 2.
Just stay connected with your partners, keep your lines tight.
Don't stop.
Force them wide.
There should be zero mentality change. Same urgency, same work put into this moving forward. There's Stewart on the inside. And ultimately, when we're at the half, we will talk about how very easily this could be 1-1. It could be 1-0 Bavarians. That's how evenly matched this one has gone thus far. Now Fodstad, who's onside this time with Gurchi, steps inside the right foot.
Good save.
Saved by Monte Castillo.
Good save, Kalen. I mean, I would argue that it should be 3-1. Weird one off the right post. Laser beam off the crossbar. The early one that
Pros have had their moments.
The early one that Eli had.
And that's the conversation of finishing, no doubt about it. Good idea once again from Morgan, but it's Stevens there. Goldman didn't have a chance. Looking for Castro. Castro saw that thing in the air and he just gave up. Like, no, not this time, my friend. Maybe next time.
I believe in your football world, that's an uncatchable pass. Yes? No?
If that's the case, then maybe Pena could have provided some pass interference on him. Maybe a little. No, we don't play like that. No, not here in Minneapolis. It was just a joke. I would never encourage unpenalized physical stress to be put on another player of an opposite team. Pena.
Throw this thing as far as you can. 1 minute at a time. 1 minute of extra time, referees are indicating.
A little physical from Goldman. That should be a free kick, and it is. Now maybe. Maybe not.
Just full.
Oh, that wasn't bad.
Just
I can use the maybe, maybe not thing, can't I? Now Lopez stepping in. Here we go. Morgan forward.
Those are the decisions that could lead to a bad counterattack.
Are we seeing it now? It's maybe to Dryden. Dryden through everybody. No, Fodstad working back.
Good work by Garcia.
Alvarez to Mitchell. Stewart has 50 yards of green here on the near side. See if Fodstad, he cannot keep it in. It will be a throw for Minneapolis City. And we have entered
the 1 minute of
stoppage time, about halfway through the first minute. And save for the goal and a few fouls. No cards, no injuries, thankfully, to either team. Very cleanly, well-played match for both. Stevens. No stress, no look. Now Fodstad with the head on him. Gurchi. Right to Castro. Now to Stewart with some space. Looking through Pena, can't get there.
Good work to block that off. Knock you up that corner kick.
Whether someone's stepping on your mic cord or stepping in front of a pass, things can get tenuous quickly.
Good work, Pena.
Nice job by Pena, saving the corner, forcing the throw.
There we go.
Defensively for Minneapolis City.
Not perfect, but we'll talk about it at half.
Handshakes abound, or at least fist bumps for the refereeing staff. I'd like to give them a fist bump based on what I saw 2 weeks ago here at Edor Nelson, but that's a different conversation. 1-0. Minneapolis City in front. The goal, a beautiful one from Shea Bechtel. In the 42nd minute, makes it 1-0. Minneapolis City over the Bavarians. We're going to take a short pause. We'll come back, analyze this thing. Maybe we'll have a cool guest. And we'll chat some more, get you ready for the next 45. Stay with us. Welcome back, Edor Nelson. That's the field, Augsburg University. That's the institution. Minneapolis is the city, and the Crows lead the Bavarians 1-0. At halftime, I'm Eric Nordquist and John Bisworm.
Hey.
My always worthy cohort, co-pilot. He's riding shotgun.
The Morty to your Rick.
Absolutely. What did you think of that first half? You get the late goal from Shea Bechtel, your player to watch, but a couple of other opportunities. This mysterious post situation with Eli Goldman had us all on the edge of our seat for a second.
Well, we were talking about, do you have to sacrifice a chicken in order for us to score goals this season? Like, what's going on? But I would say, I don't want to sound.
I'm kind of hungry.
I don't want to sound like Debbie Downer here, but that was not the perfect half.
No, it was not.
Take away the opportunities out of it, but I still think that the activity in the central part of the field needs to be increased in order for us to find outlets where we can turn and try to be advantageous in the 2 and 3v1, 3v2s, like we talked about in the lead up. But I'll take a 1-0 scoreline with it not being perfect.
Absolutely.
And hitting every part of that white frame over there.
And about less than 10 minutes from the second 45, looking forward to that. Also looking forward to this. When you told me early on, we might get to talk to, I don't know if he's a Minneapolis City legend. I don't know how you frame it up.
Oh, absolutely.
But I know in the time that you and I have spent together, I haven't met him before this moment. But he's somebody I've seen on the field at a bunch, and I've loved watching him kick ass on the field, and now he's in the stands.
And he was here last time we played the Bavarians.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's got his going out shirt on, and he's ready for 3 points for the Crows as they're looking for their first win. Abdallah Ba is with us. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here.
Welcome to the booth.
Yeah. Man, it's a different feel. It is. It is.
No, it's so nice to meet you, man, and the amount of time and the amount of commitment. Like, I'm just going to start here, and maybe this is heavy as you see on the screen a picture. Look at that.
Oh,
look at that.
Man.
The hair was a little bit longer there. How about that? What did this club mean to you? Because I think it's so beautiful to watch college age guys, exiting high school, and the pretense of this club has always been about we're going to find local, and we're going to develop local, and we're going to give local a chance. And you're one of those guys. And so what did this club mean to you when you got the opportunity to grow within it, the relationships and all of that? What did it mean to you?
Man, honestly, I feel like I can't put it into words and like what it meant. Just because for me, I felt like I started playing with the program, with the organization when I was still a junior in college, and so I was kind of like going through that whole ego thing.
Oh yeah.
And just seeing the different like growths I've like gone through, and just the connections I've been able to make through Minneapolis City, it's meant a lot. It's meant the whole world, honestly.
So, taking the soccer piece of it aside, what have you been up to since you were last flying for the Feathers?
Man, it's been busy on the good side of busy.
That's good.
Gotten into real estate. I'm a realtor now, and things are kind of flying off a little bit. And I'm still working at a high school, doing mentorship there, academic, social, and emotional kind of thing. And so also doing a little bit of coaching, not team coaching, but more so individual and like group session coaching.
Nice.
But otherwise, I've been trying to keep on track with soccer as much as possible. Like, I just played a soccer game last night in probably like 6 months, and like,
How'd that
man,
go?
my body is feeling it. It's different.
I've been there, man.
You wish you were still that junior in college.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and when I first met you and just kind of getting through the parameters before we jumped on the mic here, the accessibility, like soccer in Minnesota and soccer in this country, we can make all sorts of jokes, we can be snarky about it, all of those things, but as it continues to grow and evolve beyond the daycare sport or a secondary sport in this country, one of my favorite things about it, which made me connect with John and why we do this, is I love the accessibility of it for kids.
Yep.
And
we got like 400 of them on the field right now.
and absolutely. So, but now, because at one point, again, you joked about your ego and all that, and we all have one. But you were thinking about developing yourself. Mm-hmm. And now you get the opportunity just to be a lover of the game and view it. How beautiful is it for something with what Minneapolis City is doing, and I'm sure in another level back in Milwaukee, Bavarians are doing it as well, the accessibility to youth to get exposure to good soccer and understand how cool this game is and how they might be able to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Literally, a prime example just happened right here about my mentor, Maya Honeywell's son, and he's somebody that's kind of like trying to get into playing soccer. He's 9 years old. He literally just came up and just like asked me, "Can I go out there and play with the kids?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, you should, you
get out there.
literally go out."
Yeah, I'll catch you later.
yeah, no. So it's having opportunities like that where on different stages, on different levels, you're not just able to like
you're not
actually
able to
go
do
out
that.
there and do that.
No.
Yeah.
So just to see that, and I remember when I was playing and a couple of years ago, it would probably be like not as many kids, but now you're seeing all the ball kids and all the kids in the stands like wanting to just like actually like get out there. So to have that kind of exposure and for kids trying to get into the game, yes, you can watch the games on TV. Yes, you can go out and train, but to actually like be at the field and like see the local community come together, I think it helps you get into the game a whole lot easier.
So, you know, we're coming into close to halftime here. We can't let you out of the booth unless you tell us your favorite moment as a player playing with the club.
Man, I feel like I've had
because I have mine.
Yeah.
I have my Abdallah moment.
We might have the same one. I've had so many great moments, and I feel like the best one has to come from two Duluth games. One happened right on this. No, actually happened at Osseo. The banger for the playoffs,
yeah.
and then also I think the other one was against Med City. Just I think 2017 playoffs where we kind of came out sluggish, and then second half we just came in and I don't know what happened. The transition was just different. Just came out bursting in, and they just had no answers for it. But I think I had just too many great moments, honestly, with the club, and there's way more goods than downs than there can ever be.
Making memories, man. Thank you so much not only for the tenure here, but the time you spent with us. Love hearing about you mentoring maybe the next. What about a future Crow?
Yeah.
I don't know what the Futures program is. They're recruiting 8-year-olds in Spain.
Yeah, might as well
get a 9-year-old Minnesotan get a tryout. Is that possible here?
Let's do it.
We'll talk about that off the mic. That's Abdallah Ba. Look him up, learn about him, and again, appreciate you loving Crows soccer. It's 1-0 Crows over the Bavarians. Halftime about to end, and we're going to end this, take a short pause, and we'll be right back for the second half here at Edor Nelson.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll see you, man. Thanks for coming.
Yep, absolutely. The best place to be.
Edor Nelson. Wow, that was a short pause.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Well,
Nothing's changed.
We just wanted to hang out more with Abdallah.
We have not started the second half yet here in Minneapolis. 1-0 the Crows lead. Shea Bechtel for the Crows. A score late first half, 42nd minute, I believe. A substitution has been made that we've been made aware of here for the home team.
Yeah, it looks like
Tell us about it.
Number 8, Jamison Charles, moving out for number 20, Curtis Wagner, making his debut. And it looks as if our boy Guillerche is moving up into the defensive center midfield spot.
Guillerche kind of moving. Well, it's almost, he's moving into Charles' spot.
Yep, at least on paper right now.
So Charles no longer in charge. And then you have the substitution moving back. Mr. Wagner back into Guillerche's spot. Second half underway. On your screen, Alvarez, it's Mitchell, Stevens, Alvarez and Mitchell and Stevens. Oh my.
It'll be interesting to see how this adjustment plays out with Guillerche's typical involvement so far this season has been as a partner with Jonah Garcia. Now you're moving in a new partner in Wagner. What happens there?
Absolutely. The very cliched first 5 minutes vibe for the team with a deficit, that being the Bavarians. How did they adjust? No substitutions that we know of for Bavarians United. Two teams looking for their first win. Fodstad in alone. No problem for Mata Castillo. John Bisworm is here. I'm Eric Nordquist. I may ask a favor of you, John, right off the gates.
I'm here all day, man. What's up?
Tell me about Pedal Pub. I've always wanted to learn about Pedal Pub, the concept of it, how cool it is, and where I can go to do it.
Minneapolis City gives thanks to Pedal Pub. Man, these reads are tough today. A new 2023 sponsor. Get your crew together, work those legs, chug some beers, and give the middle finger to bars that stay in one place. Ride the party. Ride Pedal Pub.
Sounds fantastic.
I have no information on what to do and how to connect with them, so just hit Google.
There's Escueta finding somebody on the outside, that being Coleman. Breaking him down is Lawrence.
That's a great ball.
Coleman, second opportunity, will be headed out by Wagner.
And his first opportunity.
Mata Castillo would have been there to corral it either way, but Wagner puts a head on it. He's right place, right time, 48th minute. Corner kick. Seen a lot of corners for Bavaria so far.
Great
Punched
play.
out by Mata Castillo. Looked like it may have been Fodstad there, shouldered up on him. Now Coleman pushing forward past Pena. The left foot into the center.
Oh, no.
Now it's Alvarez.
Great
save.
save
by Mata Castillo.
Great save, Kalen.
Not out of danger are the Crows. Bavarians trying to continue the pressure.
There we go. Let's counter.
Pena.
Let's go.
Now Goldman, a little bit of real estate. Now he's pushing. Here we go. Escueta inside.
Oh, the switch is
past
on.
him. Now forward. Can he get it? Oh, my goodness. Brian
Aye.
Lopez was just there and ready to go through.
I think it was Contreras. Oh, man.
It was definitely Brian Lopez. I just wanted to say that on air, too.
Unless he switched numbers, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you, Eric.
Well, we'll see the replay. We'll see who it was passed to.
Okay. So
right.
who it was passed to? Lopez. Who was open? Contreras.
Well, Contreras was open by 50 miles.
There we go.
No doubt about it.
Let's agree to disagree on this one.
So we're actually thinking the same thing,
Yes.
but talking about different things?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Pena, now to Goldman. Goldman has zero help. Taken over by the Bavarians. What an opportunity there for Alvarez to even it up. And that is the cliched first 5 minutes. How does a team adjust? Clearly Bavarians brought some urgency as Fodstad is absolutely barreling in on Garcia, but Garcia with the header. Now Lopez, tough pass to Guillerche. Now Escueta, but Pena again. Put another foot in, now Pena. Smartly back to Garcia, smoothly to Contreras. Now Contreras being battled inside. Bechtel, the goal scorer. Guillerche. Now to Wagner. First 5 minutes.
I think The plan here.
entertaining.
The plan here, Eric, with the substitution. Eli
Now
Goldman
through
is
and
in.
Goldman potentially, if he can settle it down, he cannot. That was an awful first touch
Unlucky, but I think
by a guy that's had 4 goals in his previous 2 games.
I think the plan here is to root Gierche to be connected with the center backs, to try to maybe close up some of that space that was just basically being run right through in the first half of the Bavarians.
Well, there was some of that space that was being run through in the first 5 minutes. The key there is that Jamison Charles was a plus value in his shift. So whether it's minutes, Key Morgan now, can he find? And the left foot!
Oh, unlucky.
Ooh.
But let's just call this. The last 2 opportunities all came from Gierche tackles. Morgan's going to want that one back. That far post was wide open.
Gierche playing so well, we might actually want to properly pronounce his name, but we will not.
I don't remember what he told us it is.
I think it's Gersey. I'm not exactly sure. Love the kid, though. Getting an opportunity this evening, playing very well.
There's that
There's
pop.
Squeta battling himself through. Now outside, well done, finding Stewart on the boundary. Now Pena. Ooh,
Good step
looking
by
for
Wagner.
Castro. It was Wagner. Now Goldman. Tough thing about, we've seen that now 3 times, John. The outlet has been to Goldman, and he's had nothing. He has had 0 chance out there. Man on an island, nothing
friends.
going on.
Yeah. This save by Matt Castillo right here. Kick save. And then there's the beautiful sun's out now. Sky.
Yeah, maybe next camera angle that's pointed
boy.
directly into the clouds. The clouds are leaving.
The cloud cam.
Turning into a gorgeous evening here in Minneapolis. Shea Bechtel to find his way back. Well done by Wes Lawrence, because Coleman was all alone. Oh my goodness. Lawrence just saved his own rear end in that moment.
Well, he was stuck in a 2v1 situation there, and that was his only
It was
option.
a no-win, and he won it. Now Fodstad, Wagner punching his way through.
I like what I've seen defensively from Wagner so far.
Unfortunately for Crows fans, you've seen a lot of Wagner early and often as Bavarians putting a lot of pressure on here. Stewart inside to Dryden. Now maybe getting it over to Coleman.
Great first touch by Coleman.
Getting a little too tricky
Good
with
work.
it, but he does force the corner. Another corner kick for the Bavarians. It'll be Jackson Castro on the set piece. 1-0 Crows. 53rd minute here at Edor Nelson. Surveying, delivering. Up top.
Oh, I think that touch by Maybe. Was that
It looked
Maybe?
like, maybe's on it now. Maybe flicking it in. Now actually outside now to Castro. Coleman trailing. Coleman has it. Left foot inside. Headed out by Garcia. Should be another corner, and it is.
At this point, Minneapolis City has to somehow stop the barrage.
Oh my goodness! Off the line, and now Escueta. Meta Castillo on the ground. I was so busy trying to peek into John Bisworm's text messages that I nearly missed a Bavarians game-tying goal. Look at this on the delivery, and it's Garcia with the desperate right foot getting that out of danger. Now maybe controls again. Bavarians. The pressure is real.
Well,
They're
it's
putting the Crows into a pretzel right now, John.
twisting them, I think, is what you were looking for. But I mean,
I wasn't looking for feedback.
you were looking for notes.
My God. Here's maybe.
We've seen that they're susceptible to the counterattack, but we're under the barrage at the moment. So I think it's staying compact, making them go outside in versus inside out.
Now Escueta.
But at this point now, it's
Lopez
like, can we keep a ball?
The answer for now, John, is no. There's Stevens.
I mean,
Inside to maybe.
it's only been outlets to Goldman, who's been 1v5 or 1v4.
Nice job by Gierchi. Not allowing maybe to take a shot on net. Desperation.
Man, Castro.
Outside to Coleman.
Castro.
Castro.
He's a good player.
Castro's good. Left foot.
It's a wonder why
Should
he
be
goes
out.
to Creighton, Eric.
To another corner. Oh, they'll give the goal kick there.
Something we didn't see.
No, excuse me. It should be a... Oh, it's a throw. My fault. Journalistic integrity in play. Another throw for the Bavarians. Castro's an impressive player. Absolutely.
He's very, very good.
But you love the fact that you saw Castro from the far side of the semicircle have to work his way around and ultimately concede a pass versus finding a lane. So defensively, Gierchi standing tall.
Dude.
There's Gierchi outside. Now Contreras
That's a good ball.
to Coleman.
But now let's get numbers in. Like, now it's still a 1v2 situation. And, like, it's
taken away easily by Stewart.
like, what do you expect Eli really to do there? I mean, he tried his best in the off the dribble, but
Goldman paid Stewart back with a nice
little how you doing?
"you're welcome" gesture. Stewart still on the turf.
In the background there, you see Aiden O'Driscoll warming up as the only person warming up, so that may be an indication of a potential substitution.
More importantly, at the flagpole, at the stick,
Little kid just messing with it.
one of the ball kids. That's the greatest part, as we were talking with Abdallah Ba during halftime. I'm a father, you're a father. Father's Day later this month. Feel free to send us gifts if you so choose.
Yeah.
But the ball kids, that's the best part of Crows soccer, is the youth inclusion and the youth exposure and the youth accessibility. Another corner. Turning into a trend here for Bavarian United. The Bavarians go Milwaukee. Castro on the ball. Fodstad right near Mata Castillo on the interior. Headed by Lopez. Garcia going in. Now Gierchi.
Just got smashed.
Absolutely destroyed, but he gets right up. What tough guys do.
This is dangerous.
Now cleared in. Wagner with the clearance. Now Stevens. Pena trying to settle it. Now forward for Goldman, and he's onside. The flag stays down. If he can make that angle, can he do it? Just again by Stewart. The battle continues.
That was a great recovery by Stewart.
Well done, young man.
But then again, I'm going to go
damn
back.
it.
I'm going to go back to it, Eric. There's no one making the transition for the Crows. Like, that's 3 goal-scoring opportunities. Good tackle by Wagner. That's 3 goal-scoring opportunities where there's no support for Eli.
Stepping in is Gierchi. Forward for Morgan. No chance for him. The collision between Alvarez and Lopez will result in a free kick for the Crows. Still 1-0. Shea Bechtel. Bechtel, your lone goal scorer. 59th minute.
I mean, outside of the bazooka, every player to watch has scored this season. So, who do we add next?
Let's get the bazooka goal.
Yeah, it's not in the team sheet today, but
Almost out of stubbornness. Let's keep putting him in until he scores a goal. Restarted. No problem for Stevens. He clears it back. Return to Senda. Now Gierchi for Morgan. Morgan wins the header. Now Bechtel. Can he flick again? And oh my goodness. Oh,
this game should be 4.
another
That's a second.
another hairline opportunity.
If I'm Malice, the first thing I'm saying to John and Ned is stop coming off your line. That would have been 2 chip opportunities on a goalkeeper, and that's one thing. As a professionally amateur goalkeeper yourself, was getting chipped maybe the worst thing possible?
Absolutely, it's the worst thing possible. The timing. It's the great. Hey, coming out as a goalkeeper is one of the great timing-related, instinctual, intuitive moments in that position.
It's the most dangerous thing a goalie can do
because you can go to every camp, and you can learn your angles, and then you can just have common sense and understand it yourself and grow in the game, and you can make great saves.
Here's not where you need to lose the ball.
Long arms and great hands. As Gurchi steps in and handles business, there's Wagner through to Lawrence.
Here's connect some passes.
But the 1v1 when you're all alone, like right now, Goldman and can Morgan make it there? Can Morgan make it there? Oh, what a beautiful! Can he get the left foot on it? Nicely done by Tristan Stevens to step in on that. But wonderful connection as Goldman, and you saw Morgan connect or communicate with him, I should say, in that moment.
What is John doing off of his line so much? Like, stay in your lane, bro.
It's the toughest thing. It's just him.
I mean, coming off the line is, like you say, I would even say it's an art form because
it's pure instinct and it's moment.
Yeah, because
if he comes out too soon, then it's obvious and the chip is on. If he comes in too late, then you get the first touch and you can make another decision.
Well, even
it's all and it's all situational too, depending upon how the ball is bouncing off that. But prior to the first touch, do you want to wait and then pounce on the first touch? Do you want to wait or force him, I should say, to try and chip or handle a bad ball? It's all situational. I'm defending him.
I'm going to say
he's made 2 bad decisions so far.
Even right now, like he's on the 20-yard line. We've seen quick counterattacks be successful with opportunity.
Got a couple of subs coming. That's your job, John.
Yep, that's my job. Looks like Wes Lawrence is coming out, making way for number 12, Aiden O'Driscoll.
Now getting to and fro from A to B or A to Z, that's Metro Transit's job. And thank you to our new sponsor for 2023, Metro Transit. With buses and trains that run to every corner of the Metro, it's easy. It's the easiest way to make it to the next city match. Free ride passes are available for home games. Learn more at Minneapolis City's website. That's MPLSCitySC.com.
And a substitution for Bavarians. I'm still working through all of them. It's number 7, Arthur Souza, coming in for number 16, Michael Fodstad.
So you're a Souza guy. I'm a Souza guy.
Okay.
So I don't know if we can get past that and continue the broadcast until we decide on one. But that was Mitchell right there. Small opportunity for Bechtel.
And then it looks like number 15, Elliott, and one of the greatest names on the team sheet today,
Gurchi.
Popkowitz, in for number 23, Patrick Coleman. And now that I'm doing the subs, I'm flipping things around so I can read them.
Okay. That's fine. As Creighton's finest, Jackson Castro, nearly one-man army, shall be, I don't know what the rulings here, just the...
Contreras is getting a yellow card for that involvement.
We are all shocked by that. Contreras adjusting his shoe near side of your screen. Eventually we'll continue play. 64th minute. Things are getting comfortable or uncomfortable here at Edor Nelson. 1-0 favor the Crows. There's Mitchell across to Stevens. Trying to find far side. That's Popkowitz. Another corner. So many corners tonight. Castro will be on it for the Bavarians. Waiting for the delivery. Here it is. Side, far side, punched out again by Mata Castillo, but Escueta is on it for blue. Down the outside. Long, staying in play.
Well,
That's Souza to Castro.
Popkowitz not on the same page.
Get a deep throw in, it appears. Crows.
We got Zach Susi up. We got Dennis Mensa. And we have, is that Puig or Humphrey up for the Crows?
Deep throw. Never even entered play. Awful throw for the Crows. We move on. Alvarez into Mitchell. Out of Stevens.
More substitutions look like they're happening for the Bavarians.
To the boundary. Inside.
Ooh.
Whoa!
That's a tough one for.
Not much Dryden can do. Would have had to.
I mean, my question is, why is he unmarked?
Wasn't marked. Garcia had him.
There was a little confusion.
Garcia
between
was 3 yards away.
Garcia.
But Dryden needed to be 3 yards more to the outside for him to get the proper angle on that header. So it does go out of bounds. Mata Castillo enters play. There's Garcia. Now Morgan flick to Bechtel. Bechtel can't do much with it. Popkowitz handles. Throw in for the Crows. We're about to see another substitution.
Number 4 is coming out.
And it looks like you have Dryden leaving. You have Escueta leaving.
And number 6 is going in for Escueta. Is that Ashton Billow?
Ashton Billow, number 6.
And then number 13, Jerome Jolly going in for Mitchell Dryden.
Jerry Jolly.
Now number 6, Ashton Billow. Number 13, Jerome Jolly. Replacing number 4, Sean Escueta.
Now Aiden O'Connell with the throw in.
Good tackle.
Mitchell Dryden.
Morgan, well done. Forcing a throw in. 67th minute.
So if you're the Bavarians,
Things growing tenuous here at Edor Nelson. 4 set Bavarians.
if you're the Bavarians with their substitutions, how quickly can they get on the same page? Good tackle by Wagner. Obviously, the substitutions are coming in to offer something different, whether it's freshness, whether it's a different look from a skill set perspective. But how quickly they can gel with who they came off from or for, and then with the players that are still on the field is what you're really going to look for here.
So my question would be to you as we see Popkowitz unable to catch up with that one out of bounds. If you are the Bavarians, if you're Callum Malice right now, what are you looking from some of these guys that you haven't seen yet?
Finishing. It's plain and simple.
Escueta battling. Excuse me, that's Alvarez. After this game, if you're feeling like a pizza, check out Blaze Pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Feeds the
Sponsor
players after home games. They're fired up to feed your family any day of the week. Visit their locations in Minneapolis and St. Louis Park for fast-fired pizza served right out of the oven. BlazePizza.com. That would be the destination to learn more. BlazePizza.com.
Morgan was just caught
Morgan just
in a
bombarded.
sandwich.
Yes, he was. The weird club sandwich with the third piece of bread that you just don't know what to do with, but
A Bavarian club sandwich.
you eat anyway. Yes, that is correct. Here's Alvarez. Castro making a run. Alvarez says, try again. Now Stevens.
It's a great ball.
Forward for Stewart. Wagner's there. Should be a goal kick.
It
It is a goal kick.
I've been really impressed with Wagner.
Wagner's done well, and he's been under fire a lot since he came in here in the second half.
Just sure in the tackle. Just
The visiting Bavarians have held not only the dominant level of possession, but certainly the aggression and opportunity here in the second half, and Wagner stood up.
yep. winning balls in the air, the distribution on when he gets it on his foot. It's been good.
Outside, here's Popkowitz. Castro on the outside. Near the boundary if he looks for him. He can, but O'Connell steps in nicely. Bad touch by O'Connell. Leads to the turnover. Harassed by Billow. First time we've mentioned him, but he's there. Now Jolly.
I think the next substitution, in my opinion, for Minneapolis City might be some energy into the central part of the field. And it looks like Puig potentially is that energy who's up and warming up right now.
71st minute, Stewart outside to Jolly. Now to the center, and Pena puts it out for another corner for the Bavarians.
And you also have Contreras on a yellow card right now, so that seems like a logical sub, in my
The
opinion.
heat is on. We're not doing karaoke right now, but the heat is on as the Bavarians serving it in, headed out by Wagner. Here's Popkowitz trying to size this thing up, and it does indeed get headed back to him from Billow. Now Castro. Outside to Jolly.
If you're a USL 1, a USL Championship,
Right foot inside, Pena.
or an MLS club, number 10.
Castro's fantastic.
Castro, as he grows into his role with not only maybe the Bavarians in the future or with Creighton, keep your eye on that guy.
The Blue Jays, I believe, right?
Yep.
Contreras with the head out. Now maybe to Jolly.
No.
He's going to get that foul right there. That is an absolutely ridiculous whistle.
It is what it is.
But here we are, USL 2. It's two teams fighting for their first victory of the year.
We got subs coming.
Subs.
Are they being held? Looks like there's that Puig substitution that I'm talking about. Puig for Contreras. Man, look at me reading the tea leaves. And then let's see who Mensa is going in for.
It's almost like you know the team, John.
Yeah, you know. And it looks like Brian Lopez is making way for Dennis Mensa.
Well, let's do this while we have at least 30 seconds of time. What do you think?
I think
Through now we enter the 73rd minute. We talk about connecting together, putting it all together into their fourth match. Thirsty for the first victory. Your thoughts?
I mean, like I said, it hasn't been perfect, but it's been a marketable improvement so far.
Can Goldman find? He's getting tripped. He's pulled over. No whistle.
That's got to be
now turnover. That's Billow.
Well,
And Gertz, he absolutely clears him out. Now Souza.
Gertz just
Right
did
foot.
just the reducer.
Ultimately,
Oh,
not a dangerous.
here's what I like out of that from the
Chance from
central
Souza.
ref. Those were both fouls, but he let the play go on and he didn't bring it back for one for the other. Like that was an absolute foul on Eli Goldman and an absolute foul for the Bavarians on Gertz.
You appreciate his discretion.
Yeah, I do. It was tit for tat, right?
Let this thing play out. 74th minute. Headed out by Coleman. Throw for the Crows. O'Connell in short to Morgan. Nicely done. Defensively, just forcing the issue there of Mr. Billow. Now Souza.
See, here's the miscommunication
from out
for
of
the Bavarians for two players that just came on. Both Jolly and who's number 7? Souza. Both of them didn't know who really should be pressing there.
You can say Souza.
Souza. Yeah, I'm a Souza guy.
I'm a Souza guy.
Both of them pointing at each other on who's going to be pressing back there, and then ultimately both of them went, which is not what you want because it leaves that gap that's easy to break down. So that's what we talked about before, like how quickly can these players get on the same page? Some coming dry off the bench.
Popkowitz. Aiden O'Connell forcing it back to Billow.
Next once more.
Billow crossing.
Make some
Stewart
noise.
on the boundary trying to keep it in. Now Pena stepping in. He's got some room. Now he's moving it to Mensah.
That's a foul, if you ask me.
Turnover by Mensah. Foul or otherwise, no whistle blown. Now Castro. Now Billow. Outside to Popkowitz. A little tough on the first touch. Bechtel tries to get rid of it. Terrible header by Mitchell. But kept in by Popkowitz.
Yeah.
Now Billow.
For me, the Popkowitz substitution has been pretty good for the Bavarians from an offensive perspective, but I think defensively, I don't know if it's not his job to play defense, but he's been kind of caught forward more. But offensively, he's been doing great, serving quite a few balls in.
Maybe to Alvarez outside to Popkowitz. Left foot off of Aiden O'Connell. Now pushing forward is Lawrence. Excuse me, that's Bechtel.
Oh, that was bad.
Now Popkowitz. Now Keaton Morgan is on the turf.
Good tackle.
Gurchi.
Oh, that's bad.
What a ridiculous,
That's from
what a
behind.
ridiculous foul there.
That was
And
from-
you got the tough walk from Popkowitz as if he didn't do anything. He's just completely shocked that he's been addressed by the referee.
Now you got two crows down. You
That
got
is a-
Morgan over here.
It's a terrible foul from Popkowitz.
Can we get a review on that one?
He is given the yellow card in the 76th minute.
Yeah, that's straight from behind.
So here we are. We're in the 77th minute now. And the Crows, frankly, for the duration of the second half, have barely found any possession
And when they have,
in the Bavarians' half of the field.
it's created chance.
Everything's reactionary. Everything is short term. Now on the run, Mensah, it's Alvarez desperately trying to get rid of it. Now Morgan punches it back inside. Now it's Popkowitz. A little bit of a melee there.
Gotta have that
Easy
winner.
one for Garcia. Now Gurchi settling it down.
Oh, that's $1
Through
fine.
the legs. Now Mensah back to Gurchi and a beautiful pass to Goldman. What can they do on the inside?
Aye.
Oh my goodness, Goldman had goal on his mind the
Yeah, he
entire
did.
time. He did not care
He
who
did.
was rushing in
Oh,
beside him.
And he just cramped up. And he's off the pitch. Referee's not seeing it. We played fast.
Crows currently playing 10 v 11.
Good work by Puig. I
Here's
have
Puig.
been nothing but impressed with Puig
Here's
ever
Mensah.
since.
Goldman actually has found himself back up off the turf and gingerly running his way.
And here's our buddy just flying off the line again.
They have one that's called the Meat Tornado. Literally kill gather.
Nicely done by the assistant referee, Elise, to not flag Goldman for
For the final winner.
He didn't get involved in the play.
Sponsored by Kermarchik's Deli in
Morgan
Northeast
battling with
Minneapolis.
Billow. Now Jolly to Souza.
Winners, prepare yourselves. 5-7-4.
Back to Billow.
6-5-0.
A little heavy on that one from Billow. Should be a throw-in for Blue, however. Now Jolly. Back to Stewart. There's maybe.
5-9. 5-7-8. 2-5-9.
Switching it up for Popkowitz on the far side. O'Connell
Smart play
let it
by
run a
Andrew
little
Driscoll.
bit more than he should have.
That's
However,
your veteran play right there. He knew
Driscoll,
Popkowitz wanted to try to be aggressive there, and
He
just
knew the
allowed him.
distance.
He baited him into it.
smart play.
7-8.
Smart play by number 12.
And
That was my number growing up, by the way, John.
As a goalkeeper,
Yeah, you were curious about that. You were asking about it all day. What was your jersey number growing up, Eric? I was number 12. That is correct.
as a goalkeeper,
Well, it's high school soccer, John. It doesn't have to be number 1.
whatever fits.
Correct. You don't have to do 1 through 11 when you're running the lineup card.
See, I grew up as a number 2 because it went by shirt size, and then
And yours was the second smallest. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about that.
Yep.
Garcia sliding out. There'll be a throw in for
And then
the
as
Bavarians.
I grew, it became 6, and then I was
That's not bad.
I was forever a defensive center midfielder from that point on
Okay.
until we started Stegman's, and then I was like, you know what? I'm in charge. I'm going to be a number 10 now.
Wow.
I still played 6, but I wore the 10 shirt.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. John Bisworm bought an entire soccer program just so that he could wear number 10.
I wouldn't say bought, created. And it wasn't just me. It was Dan Hudeman. It was Nick Sint. We started all this together. But ultimately, I just wanted to wear the number 10 shirt.
Well, clearly, different aspirations.
And I'm not a creative soccer player. I'm a pass-first hard tackler. So,
Yeah, you're a bald and Andre Pirlo.
Yeah.
That's how I've always looked at you. Final 10 minutes here. Regulation.
we got,
Sans stoppage time at least. 81st minute.
another defender, Damian Humphrey, coming on for Hakeem Morgan. So it looks like Coach Craig and staff is trying to lock up shop here in the last 10-plus stoppage.
What do you think of that? The idea that you've been absolutely, and Hakeem Morgan, and the night that he put in, some tremendous passes,
I
one of
think
which leading to the goal, but it's kind of the idea of the Crows haven't been able to establish anything in the attacking half.
in the second half. I mean, we have in the second half, but I think all of the. I mean, you talk about the Bechtel rattle off the or the chip over the crossbar. There was a lot of good things that happened, but it's mainly been a bend don't break situation defensively.
Two things we don't have at this moment is Pena pushes that thing out for yet another Bavarian's corner. We don't have VAR for reviews, and we don't have those little cute microchips and like the sports bra bits that the guys wear.
Yeah.
To track kilometers run or any of those things. So we don't have any of that. We also don't have the computerized. So I guess the third thing, we don't have the computerized possession chart. Over the head, Mata Castillo, his third or fourth punch of the night. Now maybe battling with Mensah. Mensah, maybe Mensah. Now back to Billo. The possession chart would have to be almost Barcelona-esque in the second half.
Yeah, but sometimes it
A
doesn't.
70-30 Bavarians.
Sometimes it doesn't matter.
Well, that's what I'm getting to with the substitutions, however, because very few of their opportunities have actually been dangerous. But in the end now, you're putting in a more defensive stance where you're saying,
They're just trying to
yeah,
get a
they've
point.
held the ball. Yeah, they've been in our third, and Pena has to be exhausted at this point as
I think-
now
yeah.
he's down in the turf.
We only got one sub left, and that's Zach Susi. So is it time to let the Susi loosey, Eric?
It may just be.
Can we? Have we reached our substitution quota?
Carson's on the turf.
He looks hurt.
Whether it's Humphrey, Mensah, Puig, Driscoll, Wagner, that's 5 substitutions in the mix as far as it is. 83rd minute, nearly the 84th minute. Appreciate you joining us on a Friday evening here in Minneapolis. Centered in,
Wagner.
cleared out by Wagner. There you go.
And here's our buddy Jolly. Just
Now we're running.
Mensah's-
And Mensah with the pace. Mensah with the pace.
nice work.
Now Mensah's going to hold up. Mensah's looking for a friend. He finds Shea Bechtel, the goal scorer, if he can get by him.
That was
and it's
fantastic.
Alvarez. Tremendous work. Fabian
that's a card.
Alvarez. That
Yes.
has to be a card.
It happened here on Contreras. I mean, he made no play on the ball, but you know what? We can eat the clock. So that's fine.
They're even giving, I believe, they're giving the throw in to the Crows.
Can we
at least.
get a replay on that?
You know what happens when we ask for random replays.
Like, he made no play on the ball. And,
No, he did not.
And just blasted a guy into concrete.
That has to be a yellow card. Now Gyurchi. Inside. Now maybe to Castro. Out of Billo. Billo going long. There's Jolly.
It's a great touch by Jolly.
There's Jerry Jolly. Forward for nobody. Garcia steps in, 85th minute.
Easy, Jonah. Just relax.
Got to chill out. You can tell right now there's a frenetic energy that even the Crows are being caught up in on.
Yeah, it's time to
But
relax.
that's to their detriment in this moment. So we'll see how they handle it and calm down.
The Bavarians can break
Jolly
you.
outside to Stewart.
They've shown they can break you down with 1-2 touch passing. So
Out of Castro. What a whiff from Castro.
let's relax a bit, get our shape together, and make them break us down.
Alvarez here.
Make them go backwards, make their lives difficult,
Now Castro dribbling through.
and don't let that guy have the
Trying
ball.
to be special. There's Billo. Now Mensa just clears it out. Says, see you in 30 seconds, guys. Thank you for joining us. Apologize for the lack of professionalism.
We do our best. We really do.
We don't even actually do that, to be completely frank with you, but we appreciate you being with us on a Friday night.
You
In
know
your
who?
climate-controlled homes.
Yes. You know who wins tonight, Eric? Soccer.
that?
Soccer wins tonight. It's been a great game.
Soccer always wins. Maybe inside. Gerchi.
That's Humphrey.
That's Humphrey.
Humphrey.
Similar haircut, different jersey number. Apologize, Damon.
There's your guy. Now you can say it.
Gerchi.
There you go.
Not even a similar haircut, to be honest with you. Completely different humans, matter of fact. Here's Mensa.
Well,
I know that. Smartest guy on the turf. Bechtel, player to watch in the goal scorer. Flicking on. I must admit, well done by Popkovich.
Let's not get everybody forward here. What are we thinking? 1 minute of stoppage? Maybe.
Quick restart. I'm going to say 2, but I don't know. All those substitutions, I'd say 2 minutes.
There's 2 more coming on.
Let's bet a beer on it. Alvarez.
You know, how about I drive you home if it's 2? You walk if it's 1.
That doesn't sound actually great at all, to be honest with you.
That's soft. It's going to be more than 1. So
Okay.
I think you're safe.
Jerry trying to be jolly. His name's Jerome. Calling him Jerry. I like the alliteration. Here's Alvarez. Castro to Souza, cleared out. The one thing I'll say about the Bavarians, they are getting way too cute, specifically in that 20-25 yard range, where they're trying to find the perfect pass, trying to get the perfect through.
They kind of have to be because it's so compact in there.
But they have found so much. They have found so many advantages outside.
Bechtel getting booked here in the 87th.
Looks like it.
Just for stats purposes, what minute do we think that Contreras got booked in? Was that the 30 or he was second half? Yeah. Something like that.
I have absolutely no idea, John.
The 63rd. Thanks, producer
Thanks,
extraordinaire.
Well, Tyler's sober, and I think it's a real key part of his contributions.
So Castro's coming out. Let's see.
Not sure about the headband, but overall, Tyler's doing great work. 88th minute.
Did we already do 20 for 8? So it's Chris back for number 8. Who's number 8?
That's Seth Stewart.
So Stewart.
I'm going with Bach. This is another.
And then number 10 coming out for number 21.
So Castro for Thistle.
Technically, we can call the league because they put down Castro as coming in, but we know he's coming out.
And as you mentioned, you pointed him out, and I couldn't agree with you more in this case. Bach, back, Souza. Castro has been so good. Castro is so good for the Bavarians. That's a really nice player that they have. And this has been fun, John. The emotional connection that you have. You love the program. Clearly you love Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee. This is a guy that appreciates good beer drinking in sports towns.
We're going to put that on the button bar. You're a Packer fan now, I heard.
Zero chance of that. But this has been that kind of grind of two teams trying to find their first win.
Get a knock in.
And it's Humphrey on the run. Mitchell's there faster.
Make Jolly do something here.
Mensa trying to make John make a mistake. He does not. Maybe. Outside. 90th minute.
We got any indicator here from the fourth official?
Saying it's 2. You're definitely not making me walk. Alvarez inside. Well done. There should be no whistle.
Chip it.
Mensah picks the pocket.
Go to the corner, dude.
Now Mensah on Mitchell. Mensah kind of taking his time. And Billa forward. Woo!
I mean, I would have gone to
Mensah was looking for Goldman.
I mean, for me, in the 89th minute, I go to the corner and I let them, I eat some time. But that was a pretty darn good ball he played in.
If you're a Crows fan, what's better than 1-0? 2-0.
1-0,
He was
2-0.
going for the goal.
It's still 3 points. And you have to focus on,
Your logic means nothing in this particular moment. You're completely correct, by the way.
you have
But
to focus on eating
Mensah trying to find Goldman on the back end. He falls short, but it's cleared out. It will be a corner kick eventually.
I mean, or you go at it alone. He had the opportunity to put his head down and go at it alone there.
But as our camera faces the goal on the west side of Edor Nelson, what you're not seeing off camera is a member of the Bavarians
And number 10, Jackson Castro.
struggling at this moment.
Number 21, Gabe Thistle.
He's currently standing up. He's walking off field, a member of the Twin Cities orthopedic staff.
That'd be Alec. 4 minutes of stoppage. You're getting a ride home, Eric.
Thank God.
I don't know about 4, but we'll take it.
Minutes, stoppage time, minimum.
And it looks like Alvarez
Don't let him out.
now cleared out.
That's our ball. That's our.
Wow.
Wait, what? Did the referee get waved off?
Restart. Popovich.
Too many white players forward.
Alvarez, by the way, the member of the Bavarians on the turf, but he's up now,
Can you get back in?
running in. Of course he is.
No foul there. Just
Now
make it
Jerry
go back.
Jolly. Jerome Jolly. That's what his parents would call him.
Correction, 5 minutes of stoppage. Wow, I didn't see 5 minutes worthy of stoppage, but we'll take the
That is an
referee's word
absolutely ridiculous amount of time from an otherwise
And that guy
very well.
for it. That guy was 4 yards offside.
This has been a very well refereed match, John. 5 minutes of stoppage time is preposterous. Utterly ridiculous. And Montecastillo, he can just chill.
We gotta take a break so I can use the facilities before we talk about the.
You're getting the antsies over there, aren't
am.
you?
I'm doing
And
the
from all
dance.
that water you've been drinking.
I'm doing the dance. Put your foot through this, Kalen.
Montecastillo. He's just trying to get his clean sheet.
Let's see what Bechtel can do here.
First clean sheet of the year for the Crows, or any keeper, for that matter. Now Bechtel battling with Alvarez. It will be a throw-in. Alvarez getting moody. Got that sweet mustache. That was not a negative judgment. by the way.
It's a pretty sweet
It's
mustache.
a nice sweeper, no doubt. Bechtel into Humphrey. Absolutely fumbled by Humphrey. It'll be a
Everyone
quick
get
goal.
back. Halfway through stoppage now.
Quick goal kick for the Bavarians. Now we're headed the other way. Pure desperation time. As you see on the screen, nearly 3 minutes into stoppage time with a minimum of 5. Alvarez outside to Popovich.
There's a lot of blue shirts at that back post available.
Now Elliott.
Good work.
Elliott. Alvarez inside. Montecastillo's got it.
He didn't do your thing. He didn't go to ground. That's what we do around here. Don't go to ground.
Correct. You do not go to ground as a goalkeeper. It is one of the most just awful, artificial, performative things you could possibly do when you're a goalkeeper is the easy save, no congestion whatsoever, and it's the drop to ground. Oh,
I know you hate it.
it's what I learned in my ODP camps as a kid. Get over yourself. Stop it. Just stop it. That's all I ask. That's it.
You know, everyone's got their pain point in soccer.
And that is
yours.
that is
yours.
your PSA of the night from Nordo. I'm just telling you, it's stupid. So stop doing it. Popkovich on the outside.
60 seconds left, according to the referee here.
Here we go into the 4th minute of stoppage time. Two teams looking for their first victory.
Get out of bounds. Get out of bounds.
At this stage, Bavarians just hunting for a point. Referee asking for players to speed this thing up. Long throw in.
It's a handball.
Mitchell definitely handed it to himself.
Get back.
Now maybe outside. Waiting seconds. Nice step in by Wagner.
Shoot it.
Can he get it through? Can he get through to Mensa? He just flicks it forward. He's in the time-killing period of things at this moment.
We know John likes to live outside his 18-yard box.
That's one of those great moments, by the way.
There we go.
And the final whistle.
Well, this guy took off.
3 points for Minneapolis City as they beat the visiting Bavarians. United as they are, united as they will be. 1-0. It was the singular goal from Shea Bechtel. I'm still laughing at how uncomfortable Wagner was bringing that ball up, and he just didn't know what to do with it, so he just kind of kicked it off into the distance. But it worked out.
Which was the
for the home team?
Which was the Bavarian guy who, after the whistle, sprinted into the locker room right away?
One of many. And we will recap this one when we return. John Bisworm is with me. I'm Eric Nordquist. We're just having fun on a Friday night at Edor Nelson, Augsburg University in Minneapolis. Crows beat the Bavarians 1-0. We'll be right back. Welcome back one last time, at least for tonight. Edor Nelson Field, Augsburg University. I'm Eric Nordquist. John Bisworm is with me. 1-0, the final score for Minneapolis City. The Crows find their first victory, their first 3-point night with a 1-0 victory. Shea Bechtel, the player to watch. John Bisworm is with me. I'm Eric Nordquist. We're celebrating. We're enjoying ourselves.
Yeah.
And John, what did you think? Mata Castillo gets his first clean sheet, or any keeper for the Crows get their first clean sheet of the season. But but ultimately, a battle with the Bavarians and the on-top victory. What do you think?
I mean, I would say well-deserved citizen-voted man of the match for Kalen Mata Castillo. We had Herrera on the sheet to start. Who knows what happened? Maybe there was something there, but he
made a couple of great saves tonight, too.
He inserted himself in, kept the clean sheet, made some great saves. If I'm looking at this match, we talked about at halftime, not perfect. Coming out of the second half, it was more so, let's batten down the hatches a little bit and hit on the counter as a way for us to create opportunities, which is fine. Soccer doesn't always have to be pretty, right? Sometimes you just got to get the job done. And today, I think, in my perspective, this is a compounding effort defensively. It was our another great defensive shift for the Crows. On the finishing side, we rattled every piece of the bar basically. And in my opinion, some of those close range shots go in for the Bavarians. The ones that hit woodwork go in for the Crows. It's maybe a 4-2 match, but it went down 1-0, and that's what it is.
First part of a 3-gamer at home at Edor Nelson tonight. 1-0. The Crows get the victory, and they will see this field, and they'll see Rochester.
The Loons.
Here next Saturday, a different kind of Loons, the USL 2 Loons, at Edor Nelson a week from tomorrow, Saturday, June 10th. And then Wednesday, June 14th. Ooh, it's a short week. Better be ready. Manitoba is in town.
Toba.
The Canadians make the trip. All visas and passports in order. Get them over the border and get them here. And hopefully a 3-point effort for Minneapolis City. Again, for John Bisworm, I'm Eric Nordquist. For Tyler, all our production staff, the camera people, the ball kids. Big thanks to all the citizens, by the way, that show up each and every week. They're tremendous. And how do you become a citizen? How do you become part of Minneapolis City and this great community and this program and this culture that is building with Minneapolis City and the Crows from a local development, a local growth standpoint? MPLSCitySC.com, MPLSCitySC.com. Cheers to the Bavarians. They fell short. They're still looking for their first victory in their maiden voyage in USL 2. Minneapolis feels that vibe. They get it. And all the emotion. John Bisworm's crying right now because he doesn't understand. Again, his mother was the treasurer. You heard it. There's 7 generations of ex-Bavarians players and all of those things. It's the cutest story ever, and we love John. But we had to play a game tonight, and Minneapolis City won.
We'll just say this, Eric. The reason why we started Stegman's up here and why we moved forward with Minneapolis City was because I didn't feel I wanted to play for what was out there. I wanted an organized soccer experience in my adulthood that I could get from the Milwaukee Bavarians where I came from, and we started Stegman's, and it grew into this.
So you wanted to replicate what you felt from a great program in Milwaukee and put that in Minneapolis.
Yeah, and I brought the idea to my friends, and look where we are now.
And you guys are doing it. Absolutely. 1-0 Minneapolis City wins. Thank you so much for viewing and hanging out with us. Hopefully you're enjoying some cold Mpls beverages in your climate-controlled couch, living room, house-related areas. And we will see you again a week from tomorrow, next Saturday, June 10th, against Rochester. John Bisworm is here. I'm Nordo. Tyler's here. Everyone's here. We're having a blast. Have a great night.
All right. Bye, everybody.